Hello DIYers, welcome to my channel. It's me, Ada. In today's video I'm going to share with you guys how I made a peplum dress using polyester fabric and simple tools like scissors, measuring tape, tailor's chalk, and my ruler. So yeah, I've worn this dress to church, I've worn it to work, I've worn it to school, I've worn it to many places. So it's something that's really versatile that you can wear anywhere you like, and an intermediate sewer will be able to know how to make this dress. So yeah, if you want to know how to make this dress, keep on watching this video, and as usual, please do share, like, and subscribe if you find my video helpful, and I will see you guys in my next video. For the bodice of our dress, first of all, we are going to just cut out the fabric that we're going to use and fold it in half. So when I fold it in half, it measures as 18 inches in length and 13.5 in width. Then we are going to just go ahead and input our measurements on the fabric. So the first measurement I am going to put is my shoulder measurement. Your shoulder measurement is normally about 16 inches, and when you divide it by 2, you get 8 inches. So I'm going to mark that 8 inches. Mind you, this fabric is on a fold. We always cut the front of the bodice on a fold. So I'm just going to mark that 8-inch point, and then I'm going to also go ahead and measure my shoulder to bust measurement. My shoulder to bust measurement is 11 inches. So I'm going to mark that point. My bust measurement, I'm going to mark that point, and I'm going to just go ahead also and mark that point at the beginning of the fabric, and just for accuracy. And then I'm going to use my ruler to join that point. Just draw a straight line on that bust point to the end of the fabric. Now, after I have marked my bust measurement, that's my shoulder to bust measurement, I'm going to mark my bust width on that measurement. So my bust width is 10 inches, but I added 1 more inch for seam allowance, and so that gives us 11 inches. So I just mark that point, and then also went ahead to mark my waist width. Now my waist width is 10.5 inches, also with seam allowance already added to it. So I'll just mark that point. So after marking that point, the next measurement I took was, okay, first of all, I joined my shoulder to that bust line, that bust shoulder to bust measurement line. So I joined that, and then I went ahead to mark my armhole measurement. Now, standard or regular armhole measurement is usually 9 inches for an adult, so I marked 9 inches, and then I use my ruler to just draw that 9-inch point outwards, as you can see, to reach the end of my fabric as well. Then after, I just went in to mark my neck measurements. Now my neck width is 5 inches, so I marked that point. And then my neck depth, this is a V-neck, so it was a bit deep. So I marked 7 inches as my neck depth because I wanted to be on the safe side. I didn't want it to be too V-necky. Okay, so after that, I just use my ruler to join those 2 points, that is the neck depth to the neck width. So I just drew a diagonal line, I think, to join those 2 points. So after that, the next measurement I took, I just marked 3 inches upwards from my bust line measurement, from my shoulder to bust line, 2 inches upwards on my shoulder line. So that mark is where my curve is going, where my shoulder measurement, sorry, my armhole measurement is going to curve. So that is why I mark that point just as a point of reference. So I'm going to use my free hand to draw a curve, as you can see. So I'm going to use my free hand to draw a curve around that point, a shoulder curve. Then I'm just going to use my ruler to join the end of that curve to the end of my shoulder, sorry, my weight, my bust measurement, my round bust measurement. So I'm just going to join it and join all the lines together, as you can see. So I'm done with the front bodice. I'm just going to use my scissors to cut out, and then I'll go ahead to do the back piece as well. So I'm done cutting, and this is what it should look like on a fold, and when you open it up, this is what it should look like. So now that we're done with the front, we're going to go ahead and do the back as well. So for the back, we are going to duplicate the front, but we are also going to make a few adjustments to the back as well. And this is to accommodate the zipper, the high neckline, and also the armhole that is less curved for the back. So first of all, I'm going to mark 1 inch through the fabric. I'm just going to mark 1 inch downwards throughout the fabric, and my fabric is on a fold, but of course I am still going to cut through that fold at the end. So even if your fabric is not on the fold, just make sure you have two pieces placed on each other, and then you mark 1 inch all through for the zip allowance. So after I have marked that 1 inch all through, I'm going to use my scissors to, sorry, my ruler to join the points. I'm just going to use my ruler to join those points to make it more clear. Then I will drag the one that I have cut out for my front and place it on that 1 inch line. And then from there, I'll just go ahead to adjust other parts that I need to adjust, and then cut out my back panel as well. So I'm just making sure I place it properly to avoid any mistake. So the next measurement I am going to impute after properly placing it is my neck. Now I'm going to adjust the neck measurement because the back is usually higher than the front, and I don't want it to be a V at the back as well. So I'm going to adjust my neck measurement. So my new neck measurement that I'll be using is 2 inches. So I'm going to mark 2 inches from the top of the fabric, and then I'm going to use my free hand to kind of draw a curve that will join that neck width. So the neck width was 5 inches, if you remember. So I'm just going to just join it to the front bodice, just join it to the point on the front bodice, and then I'm going to also adjust my armhole to make it less curved, because the back armhole is usually less curved than the front armhole. So I'm going to use free hand to just draw like another curve that is a bit outward than the first one, the one on the front panel. So after I have drawn that curve, I'm actually done, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the back panel as well. So as you can see, I am cutting through that zipper part like I said before. So I'll just cut through it, and I'm done cutting the back panel. So when you are done, you have something like this, and if you open it up, you're going to have two separate panels for the back and also the front panel. So you just go ahead and join. If you want to use interfacing, you can also duplicate this patterns on the interfacing as well, and then sew the interfacing to the fabric first before you go ahead and join all the parts together. Now for the skirt part, I'm just going to measure 26 inches as the skirt length. My table is a bit small, so you can't see exactly, but I'm just measuring from the top of my fabric to the end. That's the full length of the skirt. So the full length of the skirt is 26 inches. I'm just going to mark that all through the width of the fabric that I'm using, and then I'm going to use my ruler to my free hand to just make the points more visible. You can use your ruler as well, please. I'm just using my free hand to save time. So now that we have marked the full length of the skirt, we are going to mark the waist of the skirt. So my waist measurement is about 10.5 inches, and this is actually plus seam allowance already, so I just mark that point, and then I'm going to go ahead and also mark my waist to hip measurement. So my waist to hip measurement is 11 inches, and I'm going to mark that point, and I'm also just going to go to the edge of the fabric as well to just mark that point to make sure I get an accurate measurement. So as you can see, you can use your ruler to actually draw the line and make it more visible, yeah, as I'm doing here. So just draw that line to indicate your waist to hip measurement properly. And then after the waist to hip measurement, we're also going to enter our waist our hip circumference. We're just going to measure around your hip, and then of course divide that measurement by 2, and then add seam allowance, so that's 11, and I'm just going to enter that measurement on that waist to hip line. And after marking that point properly, we're going to go ahead to also mark our round, will I say round the knee or round the leg measurement, basically where your skirt is ending. You're going to mark this, you're going to measure your leg, round your leg where your skirt is ending, and then you are going to divide that measurement by 2, of course, and then enter that measurement on the fabric. So I took my own measurement, and I'm just going to, I was actually taking the measurement, but after taking the measurement, I'm just going to mark it on the fabric. So the waist to hip measurement, I entered 9 inches for my waist. Sorry, for my leg round measurement, I entered 9 inches, and then you can use your free hand to join that leg round measurement to the hip round measurement, those 2 points, or you can use your ruler. I actually used my ruler to make it more visible and easier to join. So you use your ruler to join those 2 points, and also use your ruler or your free hand depending on the curve. If you want to get more of a curve, you can use your free hand, or you use your ruler to join your waist point to the hip circumference point as well. So after doing that, we're basically done, and this is the front panel of the skirt, please. So we're basically done. So what we're just going to do is to use our scissors to cut it out. This is a pencil skirt, so there's not much to it. Skirts are actually really easy to make, so we just use our scissors and cut it out. And after cutting that out, we're going to go and do our back panel for the skirt as well. Okay, so for the back panel of the skirt, we are just going to duplicate the front panel which we have cut out on the back panel. But we're going to leave 1 inch, and that is for zipper allowance, just like we did in the bodice. We are going to leave 1 inch. So I just measured it all through the fabric that I kept for the back panel. And then after that, you place your skirt, that's the front panel, on the back panel fabric as well from that 1 inch line. And then you just go ahead to duplicate. You're just duplicating everything, so you just go ahead to use your scissors and cut out that back panel. So I went ahead to cut, as you can see. So as you can see, I am done cutting, and then I'm just going to cut through with my scissors, cut through that back panel with my scissors as well. Remember, it was on a fold, but I'm going to cut through it because we're going to put a zipper in between it. So when you're done, you should have one front panel like this, and you should have two separate back panels. And then you're going to just go ahead and also copy it if you're using interfacing. That's all. Now for my peplum, I didn't have enough fabric left, so I decided to make a peplum that was half, that is, it not extend to the back of the dress, only the front had the peplum shape. So for that, I'm just going to use this little amount of fabric I have left. So this fabric is on a fold, and on a fold the width is 14, and the depth is or the length, sorry, is about 17.3 inches thereabout. So I folded the fabric in half already before I took those measurements, and I am also just going to fold that fabric diagonally. So after folding it diagonally, as you can see, we're just going to use our scissors to cut the edge, or cut off the extra fabric at the end, or at the edge of the fold. This is to create kind of like a circle like, or a curved edge, or a circle like, half circle like edge. So we're just going to use our scissors to cut in a curve, or in a curve like motion on the end of that folded fabric to create our curve for our peplum. So now that I have cut the curve, I'm also going to just cut out the top of the peplum to see if it's going to be enough to fit my waist. And if it's not enough, we're going to come back and cut it again, because this is like on a trial and error basis. That's for the waist. So it's too small, so we're just going to cut it again. So I'm going to cut the waist again. The top part I'm cutting is the waist actually. So we're just going to cut it again, a bit lower this time, to see if it's going to be enough to fit the waist. And if you open it up, you will have something like this for your peplum. So I'm going to create pleats with it and then join it to the base of my bodice before joining it finally to my skirt part, that is for the front. Okay, so as you can see, this is what my peplum would look like after pleating it. This is what it would look like. So I'm just going to join this part to the front part of my body. So for the sleeve, I'm just going to quickly go through how I made the sleeve, but I have a more detailed sleeve making video. I'll put the link in the description. So for the sleeve, I'll just on a fold, I'm going to mark 4 inches downwards from the top of my fabric that I intend to use for the sleeve. I'll just mark 4 inches downwards all through, and then use my ruler to make that line more visible by joining all the points together, as you can see. Okay, so after marking that 4-inch line, I am going to measure my armhole length, or my armhole measurement, which is 9 inches. So I'm going to mark 9 inches on that line, and then from there I'm going to draw a straight line upwards to the top of my fabric. As you can see, I'm just going to draw a straight line to meet that 9-inch point that I have marked, and then on that line that I just drew, I'm going to find the midpoint, which is about 4.5 inches thereabout, 5 inches thereabout. So I'm just going to mark that midpoint, make sure it's very visible. Then on that midpoint, I'm going to mark 1/2 inch on both sides of that point, as you can see. So after I have marked 1/2 inch on both sides of that point, then I'm just going to use my ruler to create a straight line from that my 9-inch point to join that 1/2 inch point that I made, and then use my French curve to join the rest of that point to the top of the fabric, as you can see. So I just use my French curve to join the rest to the top. And then we're going to also do similar to the down part of that 1/2 inch point, but to that downside we are going to actually use our curve to join from that 9-inch point to the midpoint, and then also use our curve to join from that midpoint to the top of the fabric as well. So as you can see, I've just used my chalk to join my curve to join that point to the top of the fabric, and I'm also going to use my curve to join that point to the 9-inch point as well. Now we are doing this to create one part for the armhole that is very curved, another part that is less curved for the back and front bodies. So as you can see, this is what the points should look like when you're done joining all those points together. I'm using my chalk to just make it more visible so that you can actually see what I did there. But I have a more detailed and clear video of how to make a sleeve, and I'm going to put the link in the description. But yeah, this is what it's basically going to be like when you are done joining those points. And then you're just going to also mark the sleeve length next. So I think I'm actually finding the sleeve length right now, but yeah, you're going to mark the sleeve length. Okay, so my sleeve, okay, sorry, my round sleeve first of all. So my round sleeve is 7 inches, so I'm just going to mark that round sleeve 7 inches from the edge of the fabric downwards. And then our sleeve length, from the top of the fabric, you're just going to measure the length you want to use for your sleeve. So my sleeve length is 13 inches, and this is actually plus seam allowance. So after marking those 2 points, we're going to use our ruler to just join all those points together like I am doing. So you use your ruler to join all the points together. Join that 9-inch point. Find a way to make it meet that 7-inch point for your round sleeve, and then just join the whole of your sleeve. And then you just use the scissors to cut out, and your sleeve is ready. Take note of how I'm going to cut the sleeve curve. So I'm going to cut the first curve first. I'm going to cut out that first curve first. Then when I'm done cutting out that first curve, then I will go in to cut the second. So after cutting the first curve, I'm just going to open up my sleeve like you can see here. Open it up and then cut that second sleeve curve. So the first curve was for the back armhole, which is less curved, and then the second one is for the front, which is more curved. This will help you have a more professional looking sleeve. So I'm done with my sleeve. So duplicate this on another fabric for your second sleeve, and then you can use interfacing, and that's all for the sleeve. So thank you for watching. This is me wearing the dress, carrying my daughter. Thanks guys for watching. See you in my next video.